In this video tutorial, we're going to take a quick look at how to adjust the raw waterfall image in Photoshop Elements. Obviously, we need to start by opening the original image. And I've got that in here, and it's this image ending in 31, which you'll also find on this month's cover CD. We'll simply click open on that, and it will open directly in the camera raw dialog. Now, it's always best with this dialog. You'll possibly find it's a little small when it initially opens up, so we can easily go to full screen mode. So one of the most important things about this image is that we don't get the waterfall itself blown out in any way. This is a great danger with images that feature waterfalls, that we can end up with areas of blank white with no detail in them at all. So what I initially want you to do with this is take notice of these clipping warnings above the histogram up in the right hand corner here. And first we'll see that the highlight clipping warning is active because it's actually coloured, so we know there's some clipping going on at the highlight end, and we can see that by the vertical bars here. So if you just click this clipping warning dialog, you'll see the areas of the image that are actually being clipped. We can also just click the shadow clipping warning as well to switch that on, just so we can see any slight areas of shadow clipping going on, and we can see some described by the blue sections there. So initially, one of the most important things to do is set the white balance, and we can do that via the presets here, and I'm going to go for daylight. One easy way to do this is actually highlight the current value and simply scroll through them until you find one that suits the image best. And I think on this we'll go for either auto or daylight. We can actually very accurately adjust this color temperature with the temperature slider up there, and I think I'm going to leave this one at 5150. So the first thing we need to do is adjust the exposure, and this actually adjusts the white point in the image, and you can see this by, if you keep an eye on the clipping warnings there, what we want to do is get this to a stage where these have almost disappeared, and you can see there's just a very few small vestiges of red left. Now the recovery slider is useful for just removing those last traces, and this will also add more detail to the highlight areas. It's important while you're doing this to actually keep an eye on the histogram so we can see what's going on, and that's looking fairly good at the moment. Now, one thing I do want to do is open up the midtones a little, because they are a little dark at the moment. Really best doing this by eye all the way through. It's something you'll get used to over a period of time. I'm going to just increase the contrast a bit, make things a bit sharper. And one very important slider is the clarity slider, and for that we need to be at 100% zoom. And this clarity slider does tend to give the illusion of sharpness, so we'll just drag this up quite a little way. And as well as giving sharpness, it also nicely increases the contrast. Now, while you're at this point, you can see now that we've had a few more areas of highlight clipping appeared, so we can literally just take those out with the recovery slider, or literally just a slight adjustment on the exposure there. So it's a case of blending the various sliders together. I'm just going to lift that brightness just a little more, like so. And I think that's actually a really nice looking image. We've really got something with that. Fill light is quite useful for just introducing a little light into the darkest areas of shadow, and just make sure that we've got this nice smooth histogram.